What's up? You're live here with your main man, Carcino, watching his bed sheets and his spreads, doing laundry. And that's what I do to you. If you I'll make you like laundry. I'll clean you up, make it smell nice with some Bounty. That's my finishing move, yeah. Really, like he's going in his trunks. He pulls out the Bounty fabric softener. He's going for the softener. The fabric softener, it's on. So anyhow, welcome to all you guys who are up late and love wrestling. Let's talk about it. Lex Luger. You guys were hitting me up and asking me, did I know any Lex Luger stories? Ah, man. I wish I could say they were good. They're funny to everybody else, but probably not to Lex. Lex Luger was a former bodybuilder. You know, so when he got into pro wrestling, it's because he was never winning any bodybuilding tournaments, and the money was scarce. So to actually make it into like WWE and things of that nature actually meant something to him. It was actually important to be a professional wrestler because most of those guys were out of shape, and anybody thought like we could do something with this guy because he's got the body off. So yeah, so without a doubt, when Lex came through, you know, he was the baby face. Everybody looked at him and they was like, oh, yes, look at it. He's made like an Adonis. So when they start putting him in matches, he was like as stiff as a board, but he was strong. So when he would go and do moves and things like this, you know, he was energetic. He was always, like, I'm sorry if this happens, if that happens. So anyway, they were like, we're going to move him up, but he's still not ready. Sting, on the other hand, was all the way ready. Sting was 100% ready. They didn't have to Sting. Sting was good to go. All right, you didn't have to worry about Sting. Sting came through the door, took off, boom. So they were grooming him for a world championship. Now, Lex Luger was getting all the women. All the girls was waiting to get to Lex Luger. And Flair, who used to get all the girls, never had anybody questioning Flair with the women. So now, here comes Lex Luger, and he's getting all the women. And he started coming up fast because of Magnum TA's motorcycle accident that messed up Magnum's whole, ended his wrestling career. His arm, everything, it was amazing that he was able to even be a broadcaster anymore. It was very bad motorcycle accident. So after that, Luger got bumped up tremendously. So when Luger was coming up the ranks and doing what he was doing, he was challenging Ric Flair and taking the women away. So they came up with a concept of bringing him into the Four Horsemen. They were like, Luger is Four Horsemen material. He's got the blonde hair. He's got the body. So Rick was like, that's a great idea. Rick got behind it because, one, if anybody gonna get the chicks, it's gonna be Rick. Okay? Rick gotta get the girls. Now, if somebody else is getting the girls, and Rick gotta be in charge of it. So yeah, put Lex with me, because he gonna bring some new girls my way. For girls who think Rick is too old and he's too young, keep him next to me and let everybody know he's under me. So therefore, the chicks are gonna fall in my lap. That's how Ric Flair was thinking. Ric Flair was thinking like a businessman. I need to get to these chicks. So they're at the, I want to say it's the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And there's an incident that goes down there, and it's told a lot of ways. Ric Flair is in there, and him and Lex Luger in there. They were talking, and Ric's hanging out. He's partying with some girls, and then one of the girls, she's making out with Ric Flair, and that was the girl that was with Lex Luger, and now she got him. So all of a sudden, we got a whole big issue kicking off because Ric Flair is over here. He's a little salty that Luger is feeling this way about this because Lex Luger, one, was married. And he's like, dude, what is you doing? You married and you caring about some broad and what she getting down with. You had her last week. I got her this week. I'm the world champion. You know, what is your problem? So they had it out. So they were thinking about making Lex Luger a good guy. Getting him out the Horsemen for a minute. And letting him go out on his own and try to be the champ and challenge Flair and all this stuff. And they was like, we can work this angle. And he was like, nah, because he don't really want to be in the Four Horsemen right now. He want to be out on his own. And he feels this is kind of holding him back. He feels he's the new, you know, Ric Flair. This didn't go over well. So now, they come up with a match in which Luger is supposed to get pounded. Basically, the whole match. And I think it was, don't hold me to it. This is my memory. But I think it's Blackjack Mulligan. Right? Blackjack Mulligan hated baby faces. Hated it. He hated the way they was special treatment and they were treated like dog crap. So he was, in the middle of a match, pretend like he accidentally did it and be like, pop you right in your face. So that was Blackjack. Now everybody know that. Blackjack cheap shot you in a minute. Now, Blackjack Mulligan cheap shot Lex Luger. He goes in the back to complain. See, this is like everybody who got a job knows. Nobody likes the guy at the job that runs back to the boss and tells the boss stuff. That guy is never going to be liked. And Lex was that guy. Lex would go run in the back and go tell Crockett Jr. and whoever was back there, I got cracked in the face. I got hit in my face. So he went back there crying about Blackjack. So it led to a big thing back there because Blackjack got a lot of friends. So everybody's like, man, you're a punk little B. Talking about, you know, Lex. Lex didn't care. Lex didn't care what they had to say. He was like, I'm not supposed to get hit like that. We're professionals. This is the business. So when Blackjack got to the back, he told Lex, let's fight. Come on, let's fight. Come on, Lex. Me and you. Let's fight. No cameras, no fans, no lights. Lex is like, you're crazy. And walked off. So then it was a battle royal. Like one of those war games. Steel cage battle royal. Blackjack. Oh, God, what was that? A mosquito that bit me? Hold on. I'm gonna hunt him down. So anyway, they get into the match, right? Blackjack Mulligan, it's like a 6-man tag or some war game stuff. Lex Luger get kicked right in the face, like dead smacking his grill. Pow! Kicked right in his face. Lex Luger hit the ground, hit the mat. He gets up, he checks his face, and he gets out of the ring, eliminates himself, gets out of the cage, beelines it to the back of the room. And he goes in the locker room, gets all his gear, packs up all his stuff, and was like, I'm out. Got in his car, drove out of there. Left the whole facility. Lex Luger. Lex Luger. Man, it was funny. He broke out of there. And the reason why Blackjack, they went and talked to Blackjack, why did you hit him like that, Blackjack, for real? He was like, cuz he made mistakes. He's making mistakes that's injuring people. And Lex Luger ended up hurting him and enough to piss him off because he kept blowing the moves. Now, wrestling back then was different. The matches went a certain type of way, depending on who you was working with. Wrestling changed in like the 80s and 90s. It changed a little bit, meaning that it was a lot faster. The matches was a lot faster, and the guys who were younger, they had a better chemistry of memory, and they can go off the head and go right through the script, and that caused a lot of confusion. So with Lex Luger, he was used to the old way the wrestling would go. And Lex, all the time, you would see him do that move. Hey, what's up? Yeah, so it would be like one move, man, that he would do on the rig. He would go ahead.
I thought you were one of the YouTube guys.
I'm over here talking with them. He thought I was one of the YouTube guys. So he's sitting over there waiting to get his he was waiting to get his something was going on. Dude said he thought I was one of the YouTube guys. Yeah, so anyway, we sitting there, right? No notifications. Yay, right in, man. Like I told you, you're not getting your notification. Make sure you send a link in when you hit the send help button. Send this link to this video saying I have clicked my notification button and I'm rung the bell. I've selected on my phone to receive all notifications. So if it's not working, do that. So anyway, Lex, whenever Lex don't know a move or something, or he'll get caught up, why do you think Lex always did this move? He will fight a very slow fight. He'll always grab somebody, press slam them, throw them down, and he always do this move here. Ah! And then they would jump out the ring and run around the ring, and that was to slow the match down. Then the referee would tell him to move, or he'll go to Lex and tell Lex to back up, and he'll tell Lex what they're getting ready to do. You know, so this had to be done over and over again because Lex didn't know what he was doing and he was making a bad match. So Lex's contract was coming up. He was getting ready to leave wrestling because they didn't know what to do with him. So him becoming heavyweight champion was accident. Sting was going to be the champion. He got hurt, so they had to give it to Luger. They was like, well, we're going to have to make Luger heavyweight champion because Sting tore his ACL once the security guard grabbed him and pulled him down because he thought Sting was just some guy that was out of the stands, or a fan who was trying to come in the ring, didn't know it was staged. And he wasn't part of the guys that worked there. Back then, they didn't have like us. It was security. They were hired security to come there and do their thing. So security force showed up to do their thing, and sure enough, they injured Sting. Sting tore his ACL, and there it is. All the marketing, all the stuff they've been setting up for a whole year went down the drain. Sting was on the lam, and because Sting was on the lam, it put a whole new open market for who was going to be the champion. And when Lex was the champion, he was just the worst dialogue, worst everything. So naturally, he wasn't going to last. And backstage, you know, he started spilling a little uppity because he was the champion. He wanted certain amenities. He wanted his own space in the locker room. He wanted all this stuff, and they were like, look, you know, you tripping. Hold on, I gotta put this stuff in the dry. So, yeah, so Luger went from being that to a whole nother guy. Yeah, so hold on, I gotta get my strength up. So anyway, now that we back to it, anyway, now that we back to it, no, Lex was a real decent guy, you know, but he just got big once he got the heavyweight championship. You know, he got a little big-headed. And because he got big-headed, you know, things went a certain way. You know, things didn't go in the way that he planned. And then when he got in the locker room, you know, in the Four Horsemen, when he was in the Four Horsemen one time, and I think Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson got in a fight, fist fight, with Mandy Hernandez and a couple other guys back there, Rick Rude, Manny Hernandez. They jumped Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And I don't think that was part of the match. That was just a problem between them. And Lex Luger jumped up once he saw Tully Blanchard getting hit. He was, hey. And they stood up. Rick Rude was like, what you want to do, bitch? And he was like, I don't want no parts of this. I'm out. turned his back and went another direction. You know, when they turn their back and go another direction, you know, that's that. So, why y'all made me forget to put in the fabric so? Yeah, so the thing is, Luger matches was so bad, and he was just being a prima donna. So when he lost the belt and they got it back to Flair, they really had no need for him no more. They had no need for him no more. So when they had no need for him, they gave him what you would call the quick boot. And he was gone. So he went to WCW, the WWF at the time. Vince McMahon took him in. Yeah, the torture rack. They put him up in that move. And he ended up hurting somebody doing that one time. That move used to be like Don Morocco's move. Don the Rock Morocco, he used to use that move a lot. The torture rack. Then you had it's a lot of them out there that was using moves similar to the torture rack. So it was what it was at that time, you know. So Vince McMahon didn't know what to do with him. Vince loved bodies. That's Vince's thing. Vince loved bodies. He'll look at a person and be like, "Oh, look at that body. Oh my God, that body it's too perfect. Oh, look at his body. I wish I had your body." So Lex comes in the office. And he's trying to give Lex Luger, monologues. And Lex can't even talk. I mean, he's trying his hardest. "Yo, I'm the best. And when you see the total package, Lex Luger, you gonna know." They're like, "You barely talk. We're gonna get you we're gonna have somebody manage you. And we're gonna call you the Narcissist, Lex Luger. That's what we're gonna call you. The Narcissist, Lex Luger. That's your name. You don't talk. Your manager just carries a big mirror and you love yourself so much. Let me see it. Show it to me, Lex. There you go. You just love the way he looks. Oh my God, look at him. He's so narcissistic. It's the Narcissist, Lex Luger." And that's how it worked. Next thing you know, he was the narcissist, Lex Luger. He had no personality, no nothing. He was just basically a guy that was out there. And that was it. He was just a guy out there. So, the narcissist pitch wasn't working. He wasn't picking. He wasn't selling. They tried to sell the merchandise. It wasn't merchandising. So they were like, what are we doing here with Luger? We got to find out what the heck are we doing with this guy. Because we're doing nothing with him. And he's not moving anything. And we don't understand why he's not taking off. And then Vince knew. He's like, well, the guy can't damn well talk. You know what we need? Hulk Hogan. Hogan was finna start doing some movies. They had Suburban Commando coming up. So Hogan was gonna miss like a year filming movies. So they were like, well, Hogan's gonna be gone. We're gonna have to have a new champion. We need somebody to gravitate to. So they come out with new Lex Luger because they were losing everybody. Jake the Snake was in rehab. Macho Man is all messed up. They needed some new blood. They needed somebody to step up. And they went and made the narcissist. They scrapped the whole thing. And now he became the all-American Lex Luger. He wore the USA flag. He wore the USA trunks. And he was the all-American Lex Luger. Vince loved his body. And because Vince loved his body, no amount of dollars and cents would be spared. But you couldn't help the fact that his personality was like a rock. So Vince was done with him. Vince was like, I can't do nothing with you. I can't sell a ticket. I can't. There's nothing I could do with this kid. You know, he's a good guy, but I can't do nothing with this guy. I just can't. There's nothing I could do with you, kid. And that's basically all he told Lex Luger. Is like, sorry, but there's nothing I could do with you. I've tried every avenue to pivot to make this a reality, and it's not working. You just no good. So when they let him go, Lex Luger didn't know what he was gonna do. So he came back basically crawling back to WCW. The WWE didn't want nothing to do with him no more. They had other stars that was taking off, so they didn't need Luger. So when he came back to WCW, Lex was through the depression and fell back in the hard drugs like heavy, and he decided that they were going to do a rugged Lex Luger type, you know, and try to first they brought him back as Lex, the same guy, you know, because he had a name. They felt that they could use that name and still do some matches. You know, Sting was out for a while because he had back surgery, so Sting was down. And he came back and they did the Crow thing, and that was excellent for Sting. Because he started wearing the onesie suit. That's when he went to the onesies. He started seeing Sting in that onesie. So they start putting Luger in these matches, right? So then he gets into it with Scott Hall. Scott Hall is drunk in the hallway at one of the matches. Him and Kevin Nash is in the back. And this one I knew what kind of guy Kevin Nash was. Nash was cool with Luger. You know, like him and Luger had no problems, nothing. They were okay. And then when Nash came by, Scott Hall came by and he was like, hey, yo, Luger, we're gonna go hang out tonight and we're gonna party. but it's your turn to pay. Because last time you didn't pay. Meaning, when they partied, Lex Luger didn't do what he was supposed to do. And Scott Hall ended up giving up the half of his, his party stash. And Luger is good, didn't say thank you, didn't chip in. So it was Luger's turn to treat. And Luger didn't. Luger thought he was joking. So when he saw him again, and Scott Hall saw him, he was a little gone off maybe alcohol and some other things. And he stole off Lex Luger. He pushed him, stole off of him, punched him or whatever. Luger got up, Luger ran. Lex Luger will run on you in a heartbeat. He's not going to fight back. Luger got up and he ran. And was like, he just cold-cocked me. Yeah, look, I don't know what's wrong with him. So Scott Hall was evaluated. They saying, he had so many incidents. Showing up late to events, a house card, drunk. So they ended up getting him out of there. But the thing is that when Luger got punched in the face, Nash is sitting there laughing. Nash is laughing, and this is somebody who was like buddy with him. And his guy was normally when Luger got a problem, he'll go run to Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner was like the junkyard dog for real. He was definitely the canine dog of the whole WCW. He'll come back there, woo, 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 because Rick Steiner really can wrestle. He'll turn you to a pretzel, flip you in the air, and slam you on your neck. So, if somebody was messing with somebody who he treated as a friend, which was Luger, like he looked at Luger as a friend. If you messing with Luger, you're going to have problems with Rick Steiner. And that's just all to it. You were going to have problems with Steiner. So Rick Steiner came by, and Rick was just sitting on the side, and he was like, well, he went back there, checked on everything, tried to make sure everything was everything. And then I think they had a match with Lex Luger was going up against Conan. Because they had this is when everybody flipped and Luger went dirty. And Conan was back. This created a big monstrous problem. Because once they kicked him out of NWO, they started beating on, Conan, and they had matches going on. Conan ended up injuring Lex Luger. I think he almost broke Lex Luger's arm, or he pulled some ligaments. So now they financially stuck with Lex Luger because of this. But Rick Steiner was so mad and happy because Luger's his friend, and he was like, I think Conan hurt me on purpose. That's what Luger told Steiner. He's like, I think he hurt me on purpose. He was like, what? He was so mad he didn't know what to do. He was, what? He did what? He's like, yeah, I think he hurt me on purpose. So what he did was, he came up, he got back there in the ring and literally beat up Conan. Rick Steiner beat the living hell out of Conan. I want to find that match because he beat the hell out of Conan for injuring Lex Luger. And Luger was out for a while because of his arm. And that messed up a lot of, momentum that they had built up with Luger. Once he joined the NWO, that night when he turned on Goldberg, that was like the biggest night of Luger's career. And then for the next couple of weeks, he was doing good. And they loved his dark Lex Luger. No, they just, I wouldn't say it's scared. The Steiner brothers was like that with anybody who stood up to them. If you stood up to the Steiners pranking you and all this stuff, they ain't somebody else who's soft. If you soft, they'll go after them. So I think they knew better than to mess with Ron Simmons, because Ron Simmons will hurt you. That's how Ron got down. Was Ron's whole move. See what I'm saying? That was Ron's big move. Yeah, Ron was no problem. We seen Ron do some stuff. Especially during our time. You know, we saw Ron do some incredible things. He'll throw a guy completely across the ring. He did a fireman's carry and threw Lex Luger across the doggone ring. That's what I knew. Leave Ron Simmons alone. Can we check the numbers there?
Well, which one of the four?
Let me see. Power.
I mean, did it play already?
Yeah.
I can see if they're worth anything, but I don't have much money to do payouts.
Okay. Oh. Yep. So that was it back then, man.
This one is not a winner. This one won $4.
$4. Okay, cool. That was what I'm talking about. Yo. What's good now? Big baller. No funny stuff. Was Lex from Chicago? Now that's the rumor I kept hearing, that he's from Chicago and Lex Luger's from Chicago. I've never seen Lex from Chicago do anything out here. Like, I don't know where that come from. Lex was from Florida, from what I remember. But no. I wish him the best. You know, he was a decent guy. It's just that he was in a slump. You know, you gotta have a little scumbag in you to make it, you know, and to really stick. So even though he had one of the best bodies in there, and he started really crashing, and if it wasn't for the wrestling, he would have destroyed himself. So once they started doing a crackdown on steroids and all that stuff, and he was descending more and more into the drugs and everything else, but before that, you know, he was I know, man. We did our best at that time. We did the best we could, man. We tried. You know, it was like we need to get a lot of stuff going, man, because it's hard. It's really hard to try to navigate today's WWE. You know, I think I got my handle on what's wrong with today's WWE and why is it not working. They're trying all these, it's just not working. But I kind of got an idea of what's wrong, but you know, we'll get there one day. Well, here's the thing. Roman Reigns don't really love wrestling. You see, that's another thing too. He doesn't really love wrestling. You have to love this. You know, he looks at it as, well, he's working 9 to 5. And because I got family that's in this, you know, all around it look pretty. And everything will work out for me. You know, my family's been doing this. I'm coming in with a crew that basically masks the fact that I'm not that good of a wrestler. Rollins, those guys masked the fact he couldn't wrestle that well. So that's all it was. All it was just managing the fact that, okay, I'm dealing with a guy who don't know what he's doing, so we gotta like cover him, and he can just do big moves, don't do too many moves. But he's better, you know, people have. So. Yeah, you know, they got Cookie with the belt, damn belts. That's another thing. It's too many damn belts and it's too many people. So when you look at a situation and you see too many belts, too many champions, he's a universal champion. He is the champion, the heavyweight champion regularly. It just don't make sense. Well, when y'all start donating to the page, then we can start doing these videos again. You know? And that's what's sad. Y'all get the other Joe Blow's money. I'm like, what you giving this bum money for? Y'all blow y'all money with some bums. Too much Shane McMahon? Well, what else Shane gonna do? Shane only knows this. Don't know nothing else. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. And his dad, you know, they come up tough. The McMahons is like, you gonna go out there and break a bone or two for this check if you gonna be in this business. If you think I'm finna leave it to you when I die or retire, And I need to know you really about this. So the UFC was thinking about buying it at one time, the Furtadas. They were thinking about making an offer to buy the WWE off Vince. A lot of people think Vince wants to sell it. Well, Stephanie